I have with me Nisaba Godrej, the Executive Chairperson and Managing Director of Godrej Consumer Products. Thank you so much for joining us on BloombergQuint. Let me start
Pleasure
off.
to be here.
Let me start off by asking: do you expect strong volume growth to continue in the second half of the year? And also, can you share your demand outlook for the second half of the year, considering India is in unlock mode right now?
Um, so I think hopefully, given the festive season in quarter three and with Diwali and Durga Puja and festivals happening, we will see demand sequentially getting better. I think we still have what I would say tailwind and headwind categories. So tailwind categories would be categories like hand wash, where penetration, pre-COVID was 13% and post-COVID it's 30%. Even in rural India, penetration has gone from 5% to 20%. So I think you'll see categories like that grow even faster than they were pre-COVID. I think categories like hair color, we are seeing them sort of sequentially get better, and we feel like the second half will certainly be stronger than the first half.
Okay. Uh, will value for money products drive growth? Are we seeing more consumers down trading at this point? If you could give us some flavor on that.
I definitely feel, value for money is seeing, and we've recorded plus 20% growth in our sort of value for money portfolio across India and our other markets. So we're seeing very strong demand for products like that. And if I give you an example, even in soaps, we have seen the 10 rupee salience in soap move from 33% pre-COVID to 36% post-COVID. This is not ours, but the category overall. So I think see those grow quite fast.
Okay. You've delivered a very strong performances in soaps. Do you expect the strong performance to continue in the second half as well, considering hygiene is still on top of the mind of consumers?
Yeah, so I think in soap, we're, again, a tailwind category, and we're seeing a few opportunities. One is, I think we've seen market share gains, both our value for money and, Synthol and Protect, which have a health sort of pivot, are working extremely well. I think these higher as people step out more, they are actually bathing more. So we feel that there should be volume growth going forward also in soaps.
What about the sanitizer category? Because companies have called out some kind of, a pullback in terms of sanitizers, as in the demand is not as strong as it used to be, at the start of the pandemic and the lockdown. So I
Yeah,
think
I don't have any different news to report on sanitizers. I think, there was also a big supply glut that happened in quarter one. So I think that's also some of the moderation that we've seen in quarter two. And because of the, I think, price restrictions and, we joke that I think every company, local and national and multinational, has gone and made sanitizer. So that's definitely moderated the hand sanitizer market. But even there, I think you will see innovation coming through. You will see good pricing coming through. And I think the world that's really opened up is not just the hand sanitizer, but whether it's wipe, sanitizer sprays. We're seeing categories like floor cleaners and toilet cleaners, which were growing very well before, pre-COVID also, are sort of on steroids right now. Like, I mentioned the hand wash penetration going up. So I think there's multiple categories in this sort of health and hygiene that have very, very strong tailwinds.
Okay. Your hair color category has shown resilience. You've also mentioned that in the second half of the year, you expect this to continue. But do you expect discretionary spends to remain strong even post the festive season?
I wish I could guess guess that. We're hoping that rural growth stays strong. We'll have to see what happens now. We know reverse migration back to rural sort of really helped. Now people are coming back into the towns. But I think the two good monsoons, government procurement of rice, the NREGA scheme going up 2x in terms of mandates, PM Kisan scheme. So I think there are a number of inputs that could suggest that some of this growth in rural India remains, and some of these agricultural reforms, obviously, they won't be immediate. But we are optimistic about rural India growth.
Okay. In the incense stick segment, do you expect a lot of unorganized players to come in eventually? Because, last time we talked about the duty which caused them to actually move out. But now, do you expect a rise in a lot of unorganized players coming
No,
in
so
that area?
the duty remains. I think the illegal incense sticks are definitely on a bit of a back foot. They've definitely not disappeared from the market, and I don't think they would 100% ever probably disappear. But I think this government regulations, people more conscious of health and hygiene. I think the household insecticide industry is also taking a much stronger view towards them. So I think they will have to remain on the back foot going forward.
Would you have more product launches which will cater to in the value for money segment and towards the rural segment, considering that's where you're seeing higher traction?
I think what I mentioned at the beginning of the year, this focus on health through household insecticides, hygiene, and value for money remains very strong. I'm actually very excited. So it's not in household insecticides or hygiene, but we launched fashion hair colors recently in India at a price point of 40 rupees in a sachet, very accessible. And I'm quite excited because India has always, unlike global markets, India has always been just a gray coverage market. And we have a brilliant innovation, which is no ammonia. It's very soft on your skin, but gives very vibrant color. And we feel that it'll do really well, especially since people are now wearing masks. So we almost feel that, maybe some of the lipstick market will shift up to hair to express yourself from there. So it's very early days, but I think you could see, like we say, hygiene as a tailwind. I feel expressing yourself during a time like this will also have a tailwind.
Okay. And also, can you elaborate on a little bit on your e-commerce strategy going ahead from your on, and also what is the contribution of e-commerce to your overall revenue?
Okay. So e-commerce obviously is again another huge tailwind, growing very fast pre-COVID, but really ramping up now. So our growths have been in the 200+% in e-commerce, and it's about 4 to 5% saliency of our business. So we really see this over the next few years going up to at least 10% of our business. And I think the exciting part of e-commerce is not to just take your core categories as is, and plant them in e-commerce, but really, use it to premiumize, use it to touch and customize for consumers more, and also use it to have digital first brands. So we're quite excited about the e-commerce opportunity, especially in India.
So, do we expect more digital first brands coming from your end in the second half of the year?
Yes, yes, I think you will see some of that coming from us.
Okay. In your international markets, your Africa business margins have declined. Can you give us an idea as to when we see a rebound there? And also, can you and whereas the opposite has happened in the Latin America market, where you've seen a margin expansion. So, if you could give us a flavor as to when.
Sure, we've seen a very strong margin expansion in LATAM based on, so we've also had very strong sales growth. So good operating leverage. We're managing net working capital sort of very strongly, and I hope we can repeat what we're doing in LATAM in the Africa business. I think the margin corrections will happen over the medium term. We have new leadership in. We're really sort of focusing on the turnaround of a very solid turnaround of that business. But um, the focus is, to make sure we have very strong sales growth, make sure that and that operating leverage transfers to the bottom line.
Okay. On the urban recovery front, when do you expect a strong urban recovery? Is it expected in the second half, or do we have to wait for some more time?
I wish I could again give you an answer on that, but maybe with some of the, people migration happening back, festive season, we could look forward to a better second half, even in urban India.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you so much. Stay safe.
You too.
Bye.